Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today we have an update to the Princess Health Protocols. It was posted on their website and it is dated actually October 25th of 2021, which if you recall, that is the same day that the CDC extended their no sale order until January 15th of 2022. Now, I kept checking the Princess website thinking that something might show up, and as of 9 p.m. on the 25th, it wasn't there, but then today it was. And so I just wanted to let you know that Princess ended up releasing theirs on the same day as the CDC extended their no sale order, but they just released it way later in the day. And I want you to stick with me a little bit if you can through the end of this video, because all along we've just had some really incremental updates, and so I'm really putting them all together here so that you can have a really clear picture of what is expected of you if you're going to cruise on Princess right now, and at least through February 28th of 2022. Now, of course, they can always make updates to their health protocols and take away like the mask mandate or anything like that, but as things are set right now, this is what is expected. And so I thought you would like to know, so that if you have got any cruises coming up, you can evaluate if you would like to cancel those if you are 30 days, at least 30 days out from them. And hopefully you'll just want to go, because I surely want to go. So first of all, Princess still has in place the requirement that they say that you need to be vaccinated. So you need to receive your last dose of the vaccine that you are receiving at least 14 days prior to sailing. You also need to be able to show proof of that vaccination, and also, and this is at embarkation, you need to show that proof. And then also, you need to show proof of a negative COVID test done within 2 days of embarkation as well. And then you do need to wear your mask in a lot of the indoor areas on the ship. And so let's just go ahead and go through these protocols and a couple of others that go with it so that you'll kind of know what's going on. So first of all, when it comes to the point of being vaccinated, Princess says that they are operating their cruises in accordance with the CDC directives, and that their cruises between crew and passengers are approaching 100% vaccinated. And so that gives them a little bit of wiggle room, but I think they really are trying to sail with as many vaccinated people as possible. Now, when we were just on the Majestic Princess, they mentioned that all of their crew is vaccinated. And so I just wanted to let you know that. And it says there is no age restriction, but guests of all ages must be fully vaccinated. And so that takes into account, I believe, children. And so there's that point. Now, along with that, last week we got the update that the cruise lines would be able to accept, because the CDC allowed it, that they would be able to accept a wider range of vaccines. And there is a little bit of an update to that. And I know that if you live in the United States, all of the people who lived here, we mostly received, and I think probably everyone received, either the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which requires 1 dose, or we received 2 Pfizer or 2 Moderna, or like 1 Pfizer and 1 Moderna. And so there's a little bit of an update. So let me tell you really quick. So it still stands that you can have 2 doses of the Moderna, or 2 doses of the Pfizer, or 1 of the Johnson & Johnson. You can have 2 AstraZeneca doses, 2 of the Sinopharm doses, 2 of the Sinovac doses. You can still have the mixed of like 1 Pfizer and 1 Moderna, and it doesn't matter which order. And you can also have 1 AstraZeneca and 1 Pfizer, or 1 AstraZeneca and 1 Moderna. Now, in the US, the Itineraries still allow for the Novavax clinical trial participants who can confirm that they received the 2 full dose series of the active COVID-19 vaccine. Those people are still allowed to cruise as well. And this is an update. It says that for the European itineraries only, so this would include people coming from the United States to sail in Europe, or people in Europe sailing in Europe. It says COVID-19 immunity may be considered equivalent to fully vaccinated if the guest received 1 dose of these vaccines, either the Pfizer, the Moderna, or the AstraZeneca, or more, or 14 days or more after a previous COVID infection with a digital COVID certificate of vaccination. And so in Europe, they're doing things a little bit different with that. And so they have made it so that the people who fall under that and the guidelines that some of the European countries are using can also cruise. Now, they still are saying that the booster to the COVID vaccine is still highly recommended, but it is not required at this time in order to be able to cruise. And so that hasn't changed. Now, we still, like I said, you still have to have a negative COVID test done within 2 days of embarkation. It still needs to be the medically observed kind. It cannot be the kind that you go to the pharmacy and you just come home and do on your own. It has to be one that is either administered by a laboratory or that you are medically observed, that a health professional is on the video with you while you do it, or in person. And so that requirement still stands. They are still saying that they strongly recommend that all guests do a COVID test before they leave home, but if for any reason they get to the port and they are not able to have gotten that COVID test done, that they will be able to do that there at the port for them. They still say that the company doing that will charge $150. They will not be bill insurance for it. They will give you a receipt if you want to try to bill your insurance for it, but you will need to pay cash for it. And also, they also include that well, they don't include, but I'm going to include, just so you know, that most insurance companies will not pay for a COVID test just for travel. They will pay for it if you think that you've got COVID. If you've been exposed and there's a health concern, they don't pay for it, generally just because you want to travel somewhere. And so just kind of consider that you're going to have to pay out of pocket for those. Now, so that is everything that they've got with the testing. And then also, they go on to talk about if you're going to have to be tested when you're on board during a cruise. And so it says, for select cruises, including the Panama full transit and voyages 15 days and longer, guests will have a COVID-19 test administered 3 to 5 days into their voyage. For 15 days and longer specifically, guests will be tested every 7 days thereafter. And then it lets us know that the medical team on board will schedule those and administer those tests, and there will not be any extra cost for those. And if you do end up being turning up that you're positive for COVID, it says that those your cases will be medically assessed and treated, and that if you don't have to be taken care of in the medical center on the ship, that you will probably be moved from the stateroom that you were in to another area of the ship, and that you and your travel companions who miss any days of the cruise due to testing positive will receive a future cruise credit for the number of days that you missed due to being positive for COVID. And so that's really nice. And then I really like that they still, even on this, it says that this testing policy will be reviewed on a regular basis as the global situation continues to evolve. And so I feel like, honestly, from how often I see these updates, I think that they really are trying to do all that they can to have protocols that keep everybody safe, but they're trying not to have anything that doesn't need to be, so that it's not an inconvenience. Now, they have some wording here to go with the masks, and I find it kind of interesting because they break it down between voyages 10 days or less and voyages that are longer than 10 days. And so for the voyages that are 10 days or less, they have all of the wording that we are very used to hearing, that they strongly recommend that guests wear face masks when in public spaces indoors. They are required to wear a face mask, and it says with no exceptions in the elevators, retail shops, in the casino, and other designated areas, except for while eating or drinking. It says that guests will also be required to wear a mask prior to being seated in the main dining room and in the buffet area, and occasionally in other areas where a large number of guests may congregate. A funny note about that is, I don't know if they're having a new allowance for it, but this time I noticed that people were smoking in the casino. Like if we walked through there just to get where we were going, I just noticed that I could smell smoke, and I looked around and a couple of people were smoking and they had their mouths under their chin. And so I don't know, I just thought I would throw that in there. And then for voyages 10 days or longer, all guests must wear, it doesn't say strongly recommended, it says all guests must wear face masks covering their nose and mouth while indoors at all times. Exceptions are made while they are eating or drinking, receiving spa treatments relating to the face, during high intensity exercise, in pools, whirlpools, or sauna, as well as in their stateroom. So it is much more direct on that. And so I just thought I would let you know, if you go on a cruise of 10 days or longer, they will probably be more particular about you wearing your mask all the time indoors. And then, except for the exceptions that they listed. And so the last update that we've got here is this question. It says, will my children be able to enjoy Camp Discovery? And I know this interests a lot of people who not only want to sail with children, but also with grandchildren. It says yes. Our youth and teen programs will continue to operate with reduced occupancy and physical distancing. To limit crowding in the centers, entry will be restricted to youth participants. High-touch surfaces, supplies, and equipment will be sanitized frequently. Activities such as singing events, Stanley the Bear, dining events including kids dinner and port day lunch, and contact sports will not be offered. And so it sounds like they will be having what they've got there in the youth center, but it will be pared down a little bit. But I think it's nice that they've at least got that, because I think not only do sometimes parents want a little bit of a break, but also I think the children really enjoy their time there as well. And so this is what the updates are and everything that Princess has listed right now. If you would like to read through everything yourself, which I think is awesome, when you go to princess.com, across the top is their gray banner, and one of the little things in it, it says health protocols. Just click on that, and then you can click on if you're sailing out of the United States. Now, the updates that I have given you are what they are for sailing out of the United States. You can also click if you're sailing out of the United Kingdom or other European destinations, and they're slightly different there. The big thing that I noticed was a difference was the fact that at the port they will test you. I think it must be harder in those places to get your own COVID test done within 2 days, and so it's just automatically supplied for you there. But other than that, it looks like a lot of things are very similar. And so if you have appreciated this video, will you please consider subscribing to our channel? We would love to have you come along with us and have you part of the Let's Go Travel Tips family. Also, if you have found this information helpful, will you please give this video a thumbs up? It will really help a channel, and it really makes a huge difference, especially to a really small channel like ours, and I would really appreciate it. So thank you. So I will be talking to you again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.